I cannot remember the first thing I thought. The idea has been haunting me for quite some time, more recently this entire night. It's a, it's a complicated question to attempt an answer, to find the origin of my being conscious, to try and understand how it was that I began to see myself and identify myself and create thoughts inside my head. And the strange thing is, before this question appeared in my head, there was not a thing that would trouble me about my existence. I'd just go in with my day as everybody would, and had no trouble with it at all. Mornings were mornings, coffee, breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, then sleep. That's how it was. That is how it was supposed to be. But I can't grant myself the right to make this all to be truth now. Not no more. It seems since this question began flying around inside me, things started losing their place, stopped fitting into each other, stopped being part of something, part of what was real, what was truth, what was supposed to be. These days I have not the ability to think and believe that something is because it is supposed to be, rather than it simply is, and it might be, more likely than not, for no particular reason. It might not be much to think of at first, not a big enough idea to throw one out of orbit, until I began to think of myself and others, but mostly myself, as one of those things that exist not because it should, but simply because it happened. And in all of these things that were to happen to me, things that I would give a purpose, a reason, suddenly ceased to carry any more importance than any other meaningless event. As I might have some other time believed that maybe that bird dumping his feces on me from high above was a sign of my bad luck, of today becoming a bad day, and a reason for me to be angry and rude for the rest of it. Or the seeing of a certain number somewhere, then seeing it again, then meeting someone, then relating that number to them, and therefore believing there was something that united us, something bigger that wanted this encounter to happen. Or even something much more simple as believing that the reason of my suffering, all of the things that pained me at the moment, meant that I'd be rewarded by a disembodied force sometime in the future. Well, none of that seems quite so likely anymore. I've come to the point where it's hard for me to believe even that any of my actions have any true consequences. It might seem far-fetched to come to this thought from that one original idea, but allow me to explain my thinking. If I cannot remember my first thought, I do not know the origin of my being conscious, naturally. This is a consequence of my not being conscious all of the time. There was a time where my conscience simply was not. And there will be a time when my now present conscience ceases to be as well. And if this is true for me, it might very well be true for every other living thing. Then, all of the things that once bored me, such as my manners, being nice, and being treated right, respected, and all of these ideas that I've learned throughout my life, will cease to have much, if any, importance. For whatever the lack of them might cause at the moment, any of those consequences will be eventually forgotten, erased, just as if they never happened. So then, what if they indeed never happen? I don't know. I don't have the answer. But just as those things troubled me before, and then ceased, the trouble that the uncertainty of this question has lately brought has also come to an end.